Hello everybody, it's Auston Holleman back with another video. First things first, make sure you give the video a like, make sure you subscribe if you have not already, and leave a comment by the end of this video on what you think. Make sure you sign up to become a member, because that is truly my biggest support right now is my channel memberships. Right now we are approaching 100. It's been about 5-6 days and we have 75 members already, and the people are very well engaged. And I'll make sure I engage as well to see what you guys want to hear next. Now today we're going to be talking about my 12-month career as a YouTuber. So if you're interested in becoming a YouTuber, if you are a YouTuber, you're just starting off, or if you're just somebody is interested in this topic, make sure you continue watching the video. Now the first way how I got started on YouTube was through TikTok. If you guys don't know, my channel is about me showing my social experience and what it's like to actually be in these countries that I go to. And I started in Brazil for my first country. I went there, it changed my life. I got back, I said, I'm done with Americans completely. I don't want to deal with any more Americans. I'm done. And even when I got back, people were like, wow, there's a super noticeable difference from you, because I wasn't talking to them. Like, whenever they saw me, I would just be I started getting really blunt. Like, yeah, because for a while I thought I was crazy. And so I said, you know what, let me get online and talk about this with other people, because I know I'm not the only one that feels like this. I didn't start on YouTube, I started on TikTok. And TikTok is something I highly recommend, because TikTok, the algorithm is actually fair, right? If you post a video, people see it. You post a video on Instagram, nobody sees it. So I recommend that you get on TikTok and make sure you're using the proper hashtags. But I got on there and the first video I ever posted got like 300,000 views in about 2 days. And then people were resharing that on YouTube, and I had a bunch of critics mad. So that first video gained a lot of traction. It was talking about why Brazil ruined my dating life for me in the United States. And people were pissed about this. A lot of people loved it, a few people were pissed. And that was actually enough traction that it gave me to actually move over to YouTube and use that momentum I had. And that's a lot of mistakes you guys have. I'm gonna call some people out about the momentum that they don't take advantage of. There's a lot of people that you get momentum on YouTube and you let it die out. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, whenever I was on CNN in Brazil and it was like negative, like they were trying to put me in jail and all that kind of stuff, I fed into that negativity because I knew it's gonna boost the channel. I don't care about the end result. I know what I need. This is my career. My career is exposure. They got me on the news right now, negative or positive. I need to feed into this story right now. Don't let the opportunities like that. If you have a viral moment, don't let it fall by the wayside. You guys know Floyd that was in Brazil, Thailand, and the Philippines with me. Floyd really cheated himself because he had his Mr. Passport Bro channel, right? And Floyd was viral on about 4 different continents at one time. North America, Africa, Asia, and I'd even say South America too. But for sure 3. And he didn't feed into that negativity. And he had people with millions of followers reposting his video. Didn't feed into it. So Floyd is my friend, but I've already told him that he really dropped the ball on that one. Don't do that. Do not do that. I've never let a viral moment go to waste, ever. Negative or positive. I don't care if it puts me in danger. I'm still gonna feed into it because this is how I make money. Who cares? Now, another thing I'm gonna talk about is my first live stream donations. I did live streams on YouTube and I would do cash apps. Guys, make sure you have a cash app or some way for people to donate, because people really support you. They'll donate. Don't be that arrogant guy that's like, oh, I don't need your money, I got my own money. Who cares, dude? People want to donate to you anyway. Quit being a bastard. Anyway, my first live stream I had like a smoke show where I invited my critics, and you can take note of this and use it to your advantage however you want to. This is maybe 2 months in my YouTube. It was August, so about 2 months into my YouTube career. I did a show where I invited all my critics to come criticize me during my viral moment. I had 10,000 people watching me in about 4 hours. And at the most, I think it was 1,000 people at one time watching me. And for a YouTuber that's been on YouTube 2 months, that's pretty good. I also got $2,900 in donations. That was after. No. Yeah, in total, my bad. I got about $2,100 or something like that after YouTube took their cut out. They do take a lot out. That's why I say you guys need to use Cash App, because Cash App takes a very small percentage as opposed to YouTube takes 30%. So live streaming is a big part of the YouTube journey, so make sure you do that as well. But another thing is, the bigger you get, something that I jumped on right away was trademarking your name. Trademark whatever your name, I would say your first and last name and whatever you go by online. My first and last name is what I go by online. Now, why do I say this? Because there's a lot of fake news that'll go out about you. And you need to protect your brand, because now when you become a social media influencer, your first and last name becomes your brand, or whatever you go by is now your brand. And you don't want anybody publishing or using your name and putting it on their t-shirt, or using your face, or using your slogan. So you need to trademark things, your, what do they call that? Some type of property, I forget, intellectual property. I don't think that's what it is. I think that's patents. But anyway, you need to protect your information and what you own that you've worked on. Just FYI, we'll touch back on that in the next point. Now, working remotely, the hugest thing that YouTube was a benefit for me is why I live in Kenya now, and why I lived in Brazil, and why I lived in Asia, and why I can live wherever the fuck I want, is because I can work remotely now. I can work, YouTube is an online business. All I have to do is have internet and have something to record. I don't even have to have a camera. I could just use the webcam and just do live streams. Of course, my content will probably go down because that's my content is vlog content, but you get what I'm saying is I can work from anywhere in the world. I can move anywhere I want. That's why I go anywhere I want. That's why I went to Mombasa yesterday, day before yesterday, and I didn't like it, and I came right back. And then next week I'm gonna go to another country on the other side of the continent. So that's the benefit to working remotely, is being a digital nomad, I guess you would call it, or an expat. You need to find a way to work online. But in this case, we're talking about YouTube. Let's talk about criticism and hate. You guys, if you've been watching me for a while since I first started, you guys know I actually get I don't know what it is, I get a kick out of people talking crazy about me. Like when people write news articles about me or they make videos about me, I'll watch and I'll go laugh and I'll share them with my friends and say that this is actually a funny video. There's one guy, I'm not gonna give him any clout, but he's made dozens of videos about me. He's actually really funny. I've never flagged his channel because I enjoy watching him talk crazy about me. But I'm saying, at the same time, you will get people that put words in your mouth. Guys, I've been accused of trafficking women, trafficking kids, being a poverty pimp, exploiting women, all this crazy stuff that I don't do. People are gonna do that the same way how politicians seem to always be criminals and they always have something going on. That's because they're in the spotlight. And now that I'm in the spotlight, people are gonna wanna have a way to build off my spotlight or either tear my spotlight down. So they're gonna make up stuff about me. I mean, it never works. I mean, the thing is, you can never get me because I'm too honest. Like I say, I actually was so honest, I got put on the news. So there's nothing that these critics can do to do anything. And guys, please stop leaving this comment like, oh, don't let it get to you. Guys, the negativity doesn't get to me. I'm letting you know right now, I enjoy seeing people say crazy. It's funny. It's funny because they really think they know. So don't leave that comment. I'm tired of seeing that comment. I really am. Now, I'm gonna tell you about another time, criticism and hate, I got put on CNN. So when I was in Brazil, I was doing more red pill talking points where I would talk about why it's better to date here versus dating there. And of course, American women didn't like that. Some simps from the United States didn't like it either. But I never spoke bad about Brazilian people, ever. I actually pedestalized them for a while. And there was a video I had where I was sitting on the beach and I asked a girl, you know, just because I'm trying to compare, because you guys know Western women or women in the United States, they like this thug shit. So I was asking her, hey, you know, because Brazil is a place where there's extreme corruption and there's actually drug cartels and there's like, it's real crime down there. Like it's deep, it runs deep. You know, they can still pay the police off after they murder somebody down there. So it's not like that in the States anymore. I mean, maybe if you have a bunch of money, but we're talking, it's not a bunch of money it takes to do that down there, from what I've heard. Now, I wanted to compare, and I asked her like, hey, you know, do Brazilian women, do you prefer like a nice guy, you know, a guy that has a job, goes to work, or do you prefer a criminal? And I got her answer, and then I realized, okay, she speaks good English, and she's like, hey, I want to follow y'all to ask y'all answer some more questions. She wants more interviews. So in Brazil, they have like a very sexualized culture. So I said, hey, how soon would you kiss a guy if you met him? And she's like, right away. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, people already knew that. And I said, okay, so how soon would you go home with him? She said, if I have time, I would, you know, then and there. I was like, really? So would you go home with me? And I was just saying that because I was flirting, right? And she was like, I forgot what she said, but she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, she said some more though, but I was like, that's all I need to hear. Y'all need to get y'all's passports. And they took that last part as me saying y'all need to get y'all's passports as like come down here just for that. I could see why they would think that. But I also always talked about how cheaper it was to be down there, how much better the food was down there, how developed it was as opposed to what everybody said. I've always said that about most countries because most stuff that they teach us in the United States is bullshit as far as how underdeveloped everything is compared to the United States. But anyway, I put that video on Twitter and it went viral on Twitter fast, very fast. Like it was at almost 2.5 million views in the first 18 hours. So it went viral pretty fast. Anyway, some big time celebrities, like big time movie actors in Brazil, politicians in Brazil and other influencers found out about it and they were resharing it. And one of the politicians, I'm not gonna say her name because I could say something crazy, but I'm not. She had some amount of influence where she can get it put on CNN. And she didn't get it put on CNN the first time, but she had it published in 3 major newspapers and news stations on TV in Brazil the next morning. So anyway, I had to leave. That was like my first, I've gotten heat. When I first went viral back last year when I was in the United States, I had heat, but it was just angry people. But this is like, oh, I'm in a new country. I don't know what's going on. Like this is like, I don't really want to mess with it too much because I don't know how things move like that. You know, United States, I wasn't worried about it. The most you might have somebody talk crazy to you to your face, but Brazil's a different beast. You never know what could happen down there. And like I said, they're corrupt. She could pay somebody to do something to me. The police actually came to my house looking for me, but I was already in Thailand already by that point. I left this. When I realized how viral it went, I left. I was like, fuck that, I'm not sitting here. Anyway, a few months went by and I got a little cocky about it. I was like, yeah, nothing happened. Tell her to put me on CNN next time. Anyway, the next morning I was on CNN. I woke up the next morning, she had me on CNN. So stuff like that is gonna happen. It was a rookie mistake for me. It was my first 6 months of YouTube. I know how to say things and I know how to do things differently now. But that was a huge learning lesson for me about, okay, I realize I can't say everything the way how I want to say. I can still say what I want to say, but the way how I say it, because I ain't gonna lie to you, I had the intent that I wanted to piss people off. But it was very odd that the people that I pedestalized that entire time flipped on me like that. And that's why I ended up traveling the world, because I was supposed to travel the world anyway, but I loved Brazil so much I got stuck there. But now I'm traveling the world in Kenya. Here's my thing, I want to clear this up too. And I'm not talking about O'Shea Duke Jackson, I'm talking about the people he had on his panel. They said that, they took it as when I said Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya is the new Brazil for Auston. I wasn't saying that it is the new Brazil. I said it's the new Brazil for me. I'm talking to the people on the panel though, because it seems like they misunderstood that. Not O'Shea, I think O'Shea understood based off what he said later on in the video. But the other people, no, it was not clickbait. What I mean when I say that is, the first feeling I had when I got in Rio de Janeiro in Salvador Bahia is the same feeling I got with Nairobi, in the same way I was treated, in the same way I felt welcome. That's what I meant, for me. But things here in Nairobi do work a lot better. Anyway, let's talk, now that we're talking about CNN and all that, let's talk about lawsuits against defamation. So I do have my name trademarked. So my name is my brand. My YouTube is my brand. And a lot of people that make these videos don't know about me is that one day I'm gonna come back and sue the hell out of all of them. I mean, I've already got 3 of them on a lawsuit right now. So, for example, CNN and the politician that in Brazil that, and I'll tell you another one, it's another news station for the next one, but the politician that went after me, I filed a lawsuit back in March. That whole situation happened in January, and then it came back up in March. I filed a lawsuit in March because I said, you know what, actually this is free money, let me just sue them anyway. But they're publishing fake news about me, but that's a benefit of me having a trademark. And I don't guess you don't need your name trademark, but it does help when you have your name trademark for when people come after you like that. But there's like some people here in Africa, I don't even know if they're in Africa. I heard they're in the United States, that they're making videos about me saying that I'm over here exploiting women. I'm not forcing women to do anything with me, but don't worry, I'll be suing you next. So anyway, switching your audience, let's talk about taking a loss for the better. So after the whole situation in Brazil happened with me, keep in mind with the whole let's keep this in mind. When you have a red pill channel, the majority of your audience is gonna be incels and dudes that are virgins. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong being virgins, I'm just giving you an idea. Dudes that are virgins, or dudes that hate women, or dudes that hate black women, or dudes that don't really want to improve themselves. That's what the majority of your audience is gonna be. Now, I'm not one of those guys, obviously. So I say, you know what? I'm gonna switch up how I do things, and I'm gonna take this L, make my channel less focused about women and more focused about, it's still gonna be talking about women, but it's gonna be more focused about my life daily, living abroad, like what I spend, where do I go, who do I meet, what women do I meet, everything about my life rather than just the women, because I focused on the women because that's what was getting the views. And it was working very well at the same time. But I'm not gonna lie to you, when I came to Africa, my audience is picking back up now, but I had to switch my audience. So when I got to Tanzania, my pay went cut in half like that, because I said, I'm gonna start posting different stuff. I wanna have the same message, but I wanna deliver it in a different way. And a lot of incels didn't like that. And a lot of people that hate black women didn't like the fact that I was in Africa, or black people in general. By the time after Tanzania, I went to Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, and then back to Kenya, and then Zambia, and then back to Kenya. By the time I got to Rwanda, my audience had pretty much started picking up more traction, because I was now switching over to a larger international audience in Africa. Before, it was mainly United States and a tiny bit of Brazil, and maybe some of Australia, maybe some of Asia, but the Africans watch a lot of social media. So just know this, if you ever have a situation like I did where you get put on the news and you realize you need to switch up the way how you do things, you're gonna take a loss again when you try to switch your audience, if you try to reinvent yourself the way how I did. Like, I reinvented my channel and the way how my appearance is completely, because I didn't want what I was being accused of to happen again, even though it still happens, but now it's just bullshit, like it's minor things. But me being put on the news, that was a major thing. But I thank God I was put on the news, because I got 10,000 subscribers that week. And I also got a lot of dollars, thousands and thousands of donations. I got a lot of love, and I got a nice story to tell, and I really don't care about that part. When all this happens, after being put on the news, after reaching 70,000 subscribers, after being known worldwide, you start to gain a celebrity status, right? And whenever I'm reading off my notes, sorry. Whenever you are on celebrity status on YouTube, everybody knows you everywhere you go. I've been to Tanzania. I've had people stop me and say, hey, I seen you on YouTube. And we exchange numbers, we hang out, we become friends. Every city I touch down in the world, except for Lusaka, Zambia, and Mombasa, every city I touch down in the world, there's at least 3 people that know me from YouTube. And this is when I had like 40,000 subscribers. There's at least 3 people that know me from YouTube that have people that are gonna show me around. That happened in Tanzania, that happened in Kenya, that happened in Uganda, that happened in Rwanda, that happened in Thailand, in the Philippines, in Vietnam, in Cambodia. Everywhere I go, somebody knows me. People want to take pictures with me. And the thing that comes with that, it also builds up opportunists. It is cool at the same time, like, oh yeah, I'm the cool guy, like everybody knows me, everybody likes me, that's cool, right? But then you have a lot of two-faced people, and like I said before, being two-faced is a mental illness. Anytime you can be one person and then flip to the other one, you might as well have the multiple personality syndrome. I think you're mentally ill when you do stuff like that. And I will say it, there's been opportunists everywhere. Like I know there's this opportunist that I ran into in Thailand. I'm not gonna give his name any clout, but you know, he was really nice to me. I never uploaded this video, and I shouldn't, I'm glad I didn't. He was really nice to me in person and then got online and started talking crazy about me and started saying all these things. Opportunist, he just wanted to be in the video because he knew my name was hot at the moment. It still is. But here in Africa, I will say, I've ran into the most opportunists. The people that give you an equal amount of support and an equal amount of hate. The people that leave bad spirits to follow you, that walk around a dark cloud. Guys, I went to Mombasa by myself to snap back and get those evil spirits. And that, believe it or not, when people have negative intentions, I'm not religious, but I do believe that there's some sort of spirits and stuff like out there, because there's no way it's not based off how things operate. When people have negative intentions, because you have a channel and you can benefit them by putting them out with exposure, that energy stays in the air. That's why I was talking about buying sage. I wasn't being funny trying to buy sage. I'm talking about like that. I had to go somewhere else and let the devil leave my house and come back and reset. And now I'm back on point. Now my energy's back up, I'm back lively. But if you look at the first video when I was in Mombasa, you can see my eyebrows are I'm just like tense. I'm just angry. Actually, opportunists come in the form of beauty. And me being a man, it might not be so much of women, but if you're a female consecrator, but as a man, there's been men and women, but there's a lot of women that have came to me that want me to have unprotected sex with them, that have said that they want that their children to have a passport, which I'm gonna let any woman in the future know right now, your child will not get an American passport, because I'm not going back to America, because I'm the one that's gonna use you for citizenship. If anybody's gonna use anybody, I'm the one that's gonna do that. I'm the refugee. I'm the United States refugee. I'm the one that needs citizenship. So don't ask me for citizenship. You're not getting it. You can get, you know, the luxury of living with my income, you know, just like any other woman on the planet would that I'm with, but citizenship. I've had women recently. I've had another thing that you need to watch out for is opportunistic women reach out to you first. They will message you first. I've had it happen twice, maybe 3 times. They will message you first and say, yeah, I want to be on your channel. Yeah, I want to be on your channel. But they're not really into you. And quite frankly, one of the women that did this to me was not that attractive. One of them was attractive. When the makeup comes off, you wouldn't even be able to recognize this girl. So, I mean, I'm not really missing out. I'm never really missing out on nothing, right? Because me having women in the video gets me way more donations, gets my channel way more engagement, gets it way more views, gives me way more AdSense dollars, gives me way more membership. So I'm not really missing out on nothing. You know, yeah, you might have used me for something, but at the same time, I benefit just as much, so I'm not really losing no sleep. It's not like we got married. It's not like I'm ready to get married right now anyway. But you have certain women like that, hey, you know, I'm a nobody when I take this makeup off, but this guy, I see how his channel operates, so I'm gonna get on his channel for exposure because I know people are gonna see me, and then I can piggyback and do it. But these women are so dumb, they don't even know how to use me right. Like, I mean, if you're gonna use somebody for clout, do it the right way. That means when I put you in a video, you need to be on your best behavior every video. You need to stay the duration of the time that we plan to be together. This is like 3 girls that I had this issue with, where it was like, okay, like you couldn't even fake it the whole time. People gotta realize how to use people. But I mean, I realized that these people aren't that bright. That's why they realize, I mean, they don't realize that they could do it by themselves. They're a woman. Women don't have to work that hard. It's very easy for women to come up on social media. You don't need me. But I guess they feel like it's a cheat code. But there's opportunists like that. You even have men that are opportunists. I've had women that pretended that they like me, and I had to tell them, like, look, stop kissing me. Like, I can tell you don't like me. If you want me to help your channel out, because that's what I was gonna do anyway. If you want me to help your channel out, just say that. But you pretending like you like me is coming off so fake. It makes me, this has all taught me to know that this entire situation has taught me about the opportunist women is that There's a reason why Rick Ross would only date another female version of Rick Ross. He would only date another celebrity. You know, there's a reason why celebrities, because I used to always wonder, why do they all date each other? Like, there's so many millions of women in the world, why don't they? Because the women that have less status or less achieved, less accomplished, they can't handle it. I've had women like in Brazil, we start talking, and the next thing I know, they screenshot me and they put there in the story like, look, I'm on the phone with Auston Holleman. And I'm like, I mean, I didn't care, but I'm just thinking like, wow, like, even if I had Rihanna on the phone, I'm not gonna do that. You know, I would I'm gonna tell somebody for sure. But I mean, I would tell somebody about any chick I'm dating with, just like a chick would talk about any dude she's dating with. So if you're becoming a content creator, you start getting big, I think you realize, okay, when I go to these other cities, I need to pre-plan, like I actually need to plan who am I gonna meet before I go there. Like, what other content creators that I'm attracted to can I collaborate at the same time with? Rather than meeting the regular women that they just want a baby with you. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about that video. I hope you enjoyed that. If you are an upcoming content creator, I hope you enjoyed hearing my story and you know what to look forward to, because I didn't know that, I mean, I knew that a lot of stuff would happen, but I didn't know it would happen the way how it would, or at least I didn't think it would go the way how it would. So, sign up for the membership if you have not already. I drop very detailed videos on there that I wouldn't put in public, but I don't care if they get leaked. I will sue you if you leak my membership videos. Just letting you know, FYI. Love y'all. See y'all in the next video.